Yo, people, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of the Off to the Boundary show. And the guest will be joining soon. Um, and then we'll have a lot to discuss. But I'll get into everything. I just need to quickly do this one thing. So, yeah, one sec, people. So, yeah. Let's start off, of course, with um, yeah, we'll start with tomorrow's game. Um, and talk about both teams. So long. Um, but I want to talk on Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Yeah, you know what? Let's first do Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Of course, big controversy happened in this match. Bangladesh and Sri Lanka were playing, and Sri Lanka were batting first. Um, and it was semi going right for Sri Lanka. Then I'm going to try. Oh yeah, you know what? Before I do that, let me just quickly watch the incident because I haven't really seen it. But Angelo Matthews, for the first time in international cricket, a player has been timed out. Um, just wanna see cricket. Yes. Just wanna quickly see see what the whole thing happened. Yeah, one sec. Um, okay, so it's back. So yeah, but big controversy. But Bangladesh did do well to win the game. Really. And yeah, I'll see the incident now. So um, Angela Matthews comes in, totally normal. Um, and it's on time to come to the crease. Of course, you have 3 minutes, 1 minute to come um, out, and then 2 minutes when you're on the field to be ready to face. Um, um, so I actually want to see if I can watch the whole match, not just the highlights. Um, if the whole match is up. It's not up yet, so yeah. But basically, what's happened? Angelo Matthews comes to the crease, um, and he comes to the crease, and then as he comes to the crease, um, he puts his bet down and realizes there's something wrong with his helmet. Um, and he goes back for them to um, to get a new helmet. He gets a new helmet, but in that time, Shakibara's son, who I really like him, don't know anymore because he appeals and for this, and they give him out timed out. He's angry because the strap or something on the back of his helmet didn't work. He went to get fitch a new helmet. I think he was under the impression the umpires knew. So yeah, um, but yeah, I'm I'm just going to mute my mic for once. I'm also, but yeah, that's what happened basically. I would be irritated. I would be fuming. I want to be able to hold my um, cool like he did. So props to him doing that. But yeah, I just want to see if there's maybe any quotes from him and from the Sri Lankan um, players. So yeah, but uh, Mane is joining me to give his view um, on this whole situation. Um, and yeah, so Manny, hi, hope you're well.
Hello. Yeah, can't complain. How are you, boy?
I'm doing really well, and yeah, I just before we go on to all of the rest of the games, I'm just on this big incident. Angelo Matthews becoming the first player to be timed out in international cricket. Um, and so I don't know if you seen the incident, but basically what's happened. Angelo Matthews comes to a crease, um, and just as he's about to put on, just about, I think he might have tried to tighten his helmet or something, but then he realized something is wrong. Then he puts down his bat because he wasn't set yet. Like, okay, I'm going to face now. Or still in the process to walk. He puts his bat down like near the crease and tells the 12th man to bring a helmet, and he goes to the 12th man, he collects the helmet and stuff. Um, but in the process, Sakibala San, which I always liked, I don't know anymore. Um, after this, appeals and is given time out. Um, Angela Matthews is trying to tell Sakibala San to overturn your appeal, like say, okay, we scrapped their peel and stuff like that. Because of um, but Sakib Al Hasan is just like I also umpire, um, and yeah, unfortunately, he was given timed out. Um, I have some coaching, but first I want to, yeah, your take on the situation.
Well, Hanno, first of all, let me just say that I'm really, really in awe of you doing this stream despite having no one here. And I probably did have some plans to go on another stream with an old friend of mine, but I saw you and I wanted to hop on. I did not want to see you doing this by yourself. Anyone coming on at least will help, get the likes up. But I'll tell you something right now. All this stuff about spirit of the game and all of that rubbish. If you know me by now, you will know that that is just a load of sour grapes. And look, you're playing in a World Cup with both of these teams realistically have. I mean, Bangladesh, of course, have already been eliminated, and Sri Lanka realistically have no chance of qualifying for the semi-finals. I'm surprised that the huge 302 run loss to India didn't impact their run rate so negatively that it fell below England's. But Sri Lanka, of course. Let's bear in mind that Angelo Matthews wasn't even named in the World Cup probables, never mind the final World Cup squad, and only really got in, of course, when there were far too many injuries. And yes, he had a star turn against England, of course, and what I'm going to say about him has nothing to do with any sort of sour grapes. But this guy has captained Sri Lanka before. This guy has played long enough to know that the rules of the game are there to be applied. And also, when you have situations where teams are fighting for, pride or prestige or even something even perhaps bigger on a big stage, if it's not against the rules, then you have a right to do so. We're not talking about a Luis Suarez-style handball on the goal line, which deprived an African side of a well-deserved opportunity to play in the World Cup semi-final back in and that was, of course, in your neck of the woods in South Africa in 2010. I don't know if you were born then, or maybe you were, but you were a bit too young to remember. What Shakib Al Hasan did was not against the rules. He was right to appeal that, and it segues back to a wonderful quiz that you did with me, and another guy of our members, Ben Samuel, wherever you are, if you're watching this, we do miss you and we hope you'll be able to come back onto the stream, where you asked us to list the various ways we could be out. And I remember saying that, yes, you could be timed out. And so those are the rules of the game applied to the letter. And I'm sick and tired of people who use the spirit of the game argument to make up for their own, doziness, as has been said, when it comes to, playing the game and doing it properly. We've seen that being mentioned by several players who would be, run out at the non-strikers end because they weren't, paying attention to the fielders where the ball was. And even the bodyline bowling series, the tactic which England applied when they went down under, of course, Douglas Jardine used that against Bill Woodfull's Aussie team, which had Don Bradman. Technically, when they bowled that stuff using the leg side theory, where the batsman would have to hoik it to the leg in order to defend themselves, it wasn't technically outside the rules, but it definitely was in some ways unsportsmanlike. Captain Woodfull got struck over the heart, and Bert Oldfield, the wicketkeeper, got whacked on the head, and it had to take a harsh exchange of words between the ACB and the MCC at the time to sort of resolve the conflict. And in a nice twist, Harold Larwood, who was England's, linchpin as the bowler, ended up retiring not too long afterwards and, in fact, emigrating to Australia. But without digressing, it's just sour grapes, to be really honest. And, it's an idea that when it comes to the issues that Matthews had when it came to making sure he had his kit ready with him, I'm going to quote a tweet from one of our mutual friends, Prasanna Balakrishnan from PB Talks, who is also a subscriber to this channel, and I hope he'll be able to come on this show. He quote tweeted that and said, "Brother, it's your responsibility to check that you have the proper guards and helmets before you come out to bat, and not check as soon as you come in." And the fact that it's involved Matthews with all his experience of having played over 100 tests and captaining his country, I'm sorry, but there is no excuse. And it just goes to show that you can't expect teams to try and, play necessarily within the spirit of the game, but you've got to try to control your own self and take responsibility for your own actions and make sure that you are prepared for what's going to happen. And this sort of stuff about spirit of the game, it really is sour grapes. And, Sri Lanka really have themselves to blame for not being able to do enough to beat the Bangladeshis. And I think with this defeat, that all but ends their chances of qualifying for the semis. So it
Yeah,
ends it completely, in fact. So I'm sorry, but Angelo needs to learn to do better. And let's not forget, he was lucky to be even in this playing in this World Cup in the first place.
I've got a different view. I think that I've got the view of Sri Lanka. But no, definitely. But Miss B, I don't know. Did you see the incident? Or
Not
yeah,
really,
but
mate. I didn't see the rest of the game. I know. I knew obviously Bangladesh won because I see them. I think I knew they was obviously going to win. So when I was watching
yeah.
it, but I
No,
didn't see the
okay, no,
actual
then
what actually
it's fine
happened.
then.
What
So
happened?
basically, what happened? For the first time in international cricket, a player was timed out. But actually, Matthews. Yeah, but
Was thrown
money.
out. Did you say? Thrown out.
Yeah,
What?
so
What
there
sent
was
off?
a sent off. It took too long to be ready. But Mani
Oh right.
Shakib Al Hasan, I've got some of his quotes. Yeah, and he is definitely in your corner. He says one of our fielders came to me and said that if you appeal now, Matthews will be out. Then I appealed, and then the umpire asked me whether I am serious, whether I'm going to take it back or not. I said no. I mean, if it's in the laws, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I felt like I was at war, so I had to take a decision to make sure that my team wins, and whatever I had to do, I had to do it. Right or wrong, there will be debate, but if it's in the rules, I don't mind taking those chances. Um, so yeah,
Absolutely.
but must be to give you some clarity. So Angelo Matthews comes to the crease,
Right.
um, and then he finds that the strap of sorry, I think I froze there for a sec, but the strap of the helmet he came with
Yeah.
got loose. Loose. So he puts his bat down and calls for the 12th man to bring him a helmet. And in that time, Saki Balasan appeals to the umpire and asks him if, um, and then the umpire, of course, asks him if he's serious and stuff like that. And he's given out. Angelo Matthews is a short because he's like, it's an equipment issue. Um, and stuff like that. So yeah,
It don't sound right
and
to me,
that's
Cromwell. Don't sound right. Sounds like that's bad. He's got to have the right equipment. It's important. Equipment's got to be safety wise. It's got to be important, isn't it? So
yeah,
if there's something wrong with that helmet, he's got to be able to change it. He's got to be able to sort it
yeah.
out. And I think
But
that's totally
Angelo
wrong, though.
Matthews, is beyond this. Is it's obviously distressful from Sakib and Bangladesh. If they want to play cricket like that, obviously stoop down to that level.
Yeah, it's
I think
ungentlemanly,
it's
really.
something wrong
Ungentlemanly.
drastically. Now, I wouldn't say go as serious as he did. I'm more in where Kusa Mendes says. It's very disappointing at when Angelo came into the crease, there was a couple of seconds left. Like 5 seconds left for him to be ready. He found out that the strap of the helmet has come out. It's an equipment failure. So I'm disappointed that the umpires couldn't react on that and add common sense there. And for me, that's in my view, that is what I'm thinking of the situation.
Yeah.
Um,
I, I,
but
I think it's ungentlemanly, I think. And I mean, you've seen other incidents like it. I mean, What was that time? I mean, Manny, remember this? You'll remember this. That time, was it when Vaughan picked the ball up and threw it to him and they give him out? He threw him the ball, the bowler, and he give him out. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, it was of course obstructing the field.
Yeah,
Fielder.
well, I think the ball was supposed to be
Something like
dead. I thought it was supposed to be dead, but he picked it up and threw it to the bowler and they give him out. Cool. I don't know if you see that, and Manny might remember that. I don't know. And there was another one with Senanyoika, you remember, for Sri Lanka, when he was running up to bowl and then he stumped Butler. He's out of his crease.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's
Yeah,
rolling up.
Ashwin is known for that. The main
And then
can.
stumped him. I think that's all wrong. I don't like that. That's not within the rules, I don't think, to be honest.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, to be fair, listen, I did make it very clear before you came in that if something is definitely, against the rules, then that is dreadful. And looking more on it, it might sound a little bit harsh, and it might be some equipment failure. But then, whose fault is that? Look, you're preparing for a World Cup match against any particular team, and so it is your responsibility, not just as players, but also as the support staff, to make sure that you have your equipment ready and you don't really have a failure. And there's another quote from Usman Khawaja, who also said that he didn't really agree with that. He said that he was all for timing players out if they deliberately take too long. But then, he says that it's an equipment failure. But again, it was with a football connection. Again, Roy Keane said it: if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And so you can't really have a situation where, you show up for a World Cup game with defective equipment. I mean, normally helmets are supposed to be, they're supposed to be very efficient. They're not supposed to break the way they did. And it is very, very, very unfortunate. But again, this is another reason. This is another reason why.
Yeah, but Manny, they have to do that now because of the Philip Hughes. You remember that thing with Philip Hughes?
Of course, I remember that. Yeah, God rest his soul. Apparently,
tragically died, didn't he, from that? But,
yeah.
But I think there's another incident. The Carey Bears. I know this is not to do with equipment preparation, but it's these incidents that are ungentlemanly. Carey and Bairstow in the Ashes, running him out, and he put his back down in the crease and then walked out. So he put his back down first, and then so that's ungentlemanly as well. That's not within the rules. When he stumped him, remember he threw it at the stumps, didn't he, Carey?
Yeah, but the problem is with the Bairstow incident, Mr. B. I think listen, you have to wait for the umpire to signal the players over for the day, and then you can walk off. So, in as much as we might want to, decry the fact that cricket is slowly but surely no longer becoming a gentleman's game in that sense of the word, we can't legislate for, what Geoffrey Boycott himself would call Dawsey cricket, as he would say. And I need to stop. If I start talking in that Yorkshire dialect, I'm not going to stop. It's ridiculous. I mean, no, not the dialect, but my attempt at doing that. And I do apologise to any Yorkshire-based people who are watching this. But listen, it just goes to show that when it comes to international sport these days, it's no longer a nice day out in the field and being all gentlemanly about it. It's tough. It's competitive. You're playing for prestige. International cricket, you're playing for your nation. It's like a war. I'm not saying it justifies things that are blatantly against the rules and also blatantly within the spirit of the game. I'm talking about Greg Chappell and what he did with his brother Trevor against New Zealand. I mean, that was also completely dreadful.
Cough you got there, mate.
You see why I had the cough. But look, I'm just saying that players these days have got to be prepared yesterday. They've got to accept that when it comes to games like this, you've got to make sure that you've got all your bases covered. It is sad what happened to Angelo Matthews, and maybe when you take a look at it in a neutral point of view, you might have a little bit of a point. But it just goes to show that you cannot in any way leave things to chance. There was even an incident where Steve Waugh, of all people, was deemed to have been out for, handling the ball at the crease as well. Yeah. I think that was when Australia hosted India in 2004. I think that was Steve Waugh's final series as an Australian batsman and captain. And so it just goes to show you can't allow yourself to lose your focus and be dozy. You've got to make sure that you have everything, you do everything right. And when you know you do everything right, you can't have any cause for complaint. And I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, it just sounds all this stuff about complaining about the spirit of the game. It sounds no different to managers who complain about VAR. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it is unfortunate, but Sri Lanka have just got to take a look at the match in its entirety and say, you know what, they had their chance to do as well as they could, and they couldn't do it, and now they've just got to learn their lessons. And but that aside, Matthews was lucky to be in the squad. He should count his blessings, really.
Yeah. He had plenty of time to prepare, didn't he? He had plenty of time to get everything right before he went out there. So.
Absolutely, mate. That's the crux of it. You've got to control what you can control and make sure everything you can control is controlled well.
Yeah. Still unlucky to be out.
You spoke on Usman Khawaja, and of course you did say, he says Ansho made his crease, then his helmet strap broke. How is that timed out? I'm awful timed out if he doesn't make this crease, but this is ridiculous. No.
Why didn't Matthew speak to the umpire? Why didn't Matthew signal to the umpire?
He did speak to the umpire and try to explain to him about the strap, but I don't know if he signaled. I think he thought the umpires assumed, but I don't really know. But
again, it's all the more unfortunate, really. And look, if he did make his crease and take his guard, the very first thing he should have done after seeing that was, speak to the umpires, raise his hand, and say, "Look, I've got a bit of a problem. My helmet just suddenly broke." I mean, if you again, you've got to make sure that you do everything. You can't just take things for granted. It is very unfortunate, but that is the way it is. And I mean, it was very, very, I wouldn't necessarily go so far to say that it was cunning on Shakib's part, but it was definitely opportunistic, and they had a right to do that. And of course, when England hosted India in 2011 or 12, after India had won the World Cup, we creamed them in the tests. But there was an incident where MS Dhoni, ran out Ian Bell because Bell also was dozy and not, really grounding his bat at the crease when he crossed over and then walking straight off for tea. And that was also within the rules. And it was only after Sachin Tendulkar intervened that Dhoni reversed his decision. Everyone was giving Dhoni a lot of credit, but if it weren't for Tendulkar, he wouldn't have done that. So, look, the spirit of the game, as far as I'm concerned, cannot be used as an excuse for you not controlling what you need to control and not doing everything you need to do. You need to make sure that you do everything you have to do. And if you can do that, if you can make sure that the umpires are immediately alerted, then maybe Matthews wouldn't have been timed out. So it's unfortunate, but you learn from stuff like this.
Yeah. But we do have another one. Arnie, how are you?
Hi guys, you alright?
Yeah, Arnie. Yeah, cool, mate. Cool.
Yeah, I'm off.
I don't know. Did you see the Angela Matthews situation?
Yeah, I did. I didn't see it live, but I did read about it and heard about the situation being a one-off. Hopefully, it will never happen again. I don't think it will, personally. So many new rules coming from nowhere. It's mad, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Just your quick. We won't go really more into it. But your quick thoughts on it. What do you think Matthews could have done different, and on whose side are you really?
So like I said, I didn't see the game, but based on what I've read and heard, it's a 2-minute period, right? Gap where he should have come on. Now the thing is, if he knew the rule, this is retrospective, by the way. If he knew the rule actively, then I'd say it's on him. But the fact that he probably did not know the rule, which I think is the case, then by all means, I'd appeal against it. And I'd be equally upset if I'm sent back to the pavilion, walking out, regardless of the time it took me to make it to that crease. I'll be upset. More than upset, depending on the situation of the game as well. I mean, they lost, right? So that just adds insult to injury. But that's what I'm doing if I'm the player. I will appeal against it for sure. I don't know if you'd make a big deal about it later on, but that's for the officials anyway.
Yeah, it is for the officials.
Exactly.
But yeah, I wouldn't be happy. To be fair, I think
No,
shout out to Matthews. Although you got out, shout out for keeping on cool like that. Cause I would have said a few words. But yeah. Let's move on. Of course, this game. Now, this game, if Afghanistan win, they have a really good
They
chance
could.
of qualifying for the semis.
They could win. Yeah.
And if
Are
Australia
we
win,
even discussing this game? Like, we all know who's going to win it, right?
Well,
Like, no
Well,
disrespect to
win
the
it.
Afghans. I
relax.
like what they've
Well,
done. But come on, like, are we actually going to
remember-
look into this?
What the Aussies? You're going to win it?
Yeah, but like, come on, we all of us know what's going to happen.
I think
I'm sure
Afghanistan
they-
got a good chance, you know.
I think they got a
Oh,
chance.
Australia, though, I don't know.
Really good chance.
I mean, no disrespect.
think-
This is not England.
No.
But I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying. Like, if it was South Africa again, few hands as well, my dear. You know, I'm not trolling or anything, but maybe there's a slight chance against you lot. Australia, though, I don't see it. Especially at the business end when they come clutch against Afghanistan, they got a long way to go. But at the same time, they have come a long way. But I don't see it, man. I wish I'm wrong. I hope so.
Afghanistan did beat Pakistan, so.
Oh
I
yeah, of
know.
course. That was the shock one for me. Like, I remember
Yeah.
speaking with Manny about this, and we're like, which one's more of an upset? You lot beating the Aussies or Afghanistan beating Pakistan? You lot as in South Africa.
Well, even Afghanistan beating England, of course. Let's not forget that. But England, I think. Or,
I think you beat them but by narrow margin. But this game, I don't see any upset at all. If they do it, I think for me, this will be the upset of the tournament. If the Afghans pull this one off, that will
definitely.
triumph anything for me.
Maybe Netherlands, South Africa, but then again, it's the second time they've beaten us, so.
It's like
Yeah.
both teams were. Netherlands are just more of a minnow team than you lot. I know you've made it to the semis, and congrats on that. Very well done. But long term, man. But
Yeah,
I'll save that when we
long
get to you lot.
Like you can give us 5 games and we might win 5 out of 5, but don't take us seriously.
Don't get me wrong, my team's
especially
watched
a
as
World
well.
Cup.
I'm not saying
You
we're
can
brilliant.
take us seriously in a test series or something like that. World Cup, never.
Yeah, we haven't won a test
but
against you lot. Series.
Of course, if Australia when they do qualify, but there will still be a chance for Afghanistan to somehow qualify, even if they lose this game. They just need to make sure it isn't a big one because their net run rate is not the best. So yeah.
What's
but
the rain
I will give
forecast
this
looking
game
like?
to Manny quickly and YouTube. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, so well, obviously, big up to Hannah for hosting this. I've actually got the telly on, and just remember that with the clocks having been pushed back, the game between Spurs and Chelsea won't be starting for another hour or so. But look, I really can't see beyond an Australia win, huh?
Why? Why is
No,
it
because
delayed?
because I live all the way in India, right? So because the clocks have been put back, obviously, back in the UK and in
I get it.
America,
I thought you said the game was delayed for an hour. Something happened on this pitch. That's what I thought. Sorry, my bad.
No. The game's not delayed. The game's not delayed. It's just that I'm stuck. Over here having to watch it only after about an hour. And if I want to watch it, that is because it'll probably be 3:30 by the time it gets over. I'm hoping that Chelsea can beat Spurs and end their unbeaten start to the season. At least get some consolation. But So listen, with regard to Australia against Afghanistan, Afghanistan have had a magnificent tournament. Let's not take anything away from them. And they're in an enviable situation where if they win their 2 remaining games, they could secure a shock qualification for the semis. But if memory serves me right, they've got to play Australia, and I think their last game might be against. Will it be against South Africa? Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know. They're playing two teams who are, of course, expected to, seal their own. South Africa already sealed their semi-final spot. Australia will be expected to seal theirs as well after having had a dreadful start. And all I can say is hats off to Adam Zampa. I thought the fellow would be a weak link, but he has been outstanding in this tournament after getting back into the groove. I thought he'd be tonked around, but he's found his bearings. Well done to him. And as far as Afghanistan are concerned, I think they were able to deal with Adil Rashid of England well enough, but I think it's fair to say that Zampa is able to offer a little bit more than Rashid can right now. And I think it's fair to say that in as much as the fast bowlers still aren't exactly, very threatening and penetrative, they do have the ability to choke some really good batting lineups. And the way they played against us, not that we are by any means a benchmark. Had we kept our wickets intact and played more sensibly, I'd like to think we could have launched a better challenge. But at the end of the day, we just weren't good enough, and Australia choked us. And I just think the bowlers will be able to do the same thing against the Afghanistan batsmen. It may not necessarily be a convincing win, but it will be a comfortable enough win. I'm going to go with 40 runs and 5 wickets for Australia. 40 runs or 5 wickets, that is.
Afghanistan, I think they want a close game because their net run rate is the worst out of New Zealand, Pakistan, and them, of course. So they would want to get that up, but I reckon this one is a stretch too far. Because I think Australia will want to go all guns blazing, and then the next one they will rest a few of the big stars. So yeah, but Arnie?
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the video from the ICC's Instagram page. Apparently Matthews took Shakib's wicket and did this to sort of celebrate him and saying, "Don't you dare do that to me again, boy." Sadly, it proved moot in the end. Do better, Angelo. Do better.
Yeah, I need to see that. Not like the highlights, but that situation.
I know you're muted, mate.
Quick info somewhere.
But yeah, Arnie, your prediction? You reckon Australia?
It's the easiest one I'll do all night. Definitely the Aussies. Unfortunately, I hope not, but it is what it is. Yeah. Something had to give eventually. So
this battle, it's a tough one to call. This one. Who would have known? No. Would have known. Coming into this tournament, England Netherlands will be one of the games that would be tough to call. For all of the critique that England bowlers have received, I have to say, in the last 2 games against Australia and India, they've actually done pretty well. It's a batting that's absolutely choked. I kind of want to go Netherlands just for the fun of it.
It'll be so funny if that happens. It could happen. Yeah. I don't think it will.
Bear in mind, the Netherlands have beaten England before in a World Cup tournament. That was in the 2020 when we hosted it not too long back. I mean, some years back, of course. And the worst part is that, as Hanno said, our bowling has improved. It's our batting that really has been, absolutely shameful. And I absolutely adore Joe Root to bits, but I think it's fair to say that he should never, ever again be involved in the England limited over scheme of things. It's a harsh call, but, we've got to look beyond him. And he and Jos Buttler, 2 of the senior-most members in that England team, have really, really epitomised how our batting has just deteriorated. It's horrible to see. And I worry that the Dutch bowlers could perhaps, get the better of us. I think this might be the match which England do end up winning to try to save some of their blushes, although they'll never be able to recover from losing to Afghanistan. And you know, the Netherlands batting really has also it was outstanding in its first few games, but it has also started to decline a little bit. Still depending on their tail enders to try to rescue them more often than not. And so our best hope to win will be to dismiss them for a very low total, even if we end up, stopping and starting and literally stuttering and stammering, we end up getting there. So, but if we bowl first, then I wouldn't be surprised if the New Zealand batsmen really put the brakes on us again, just like the Aussie bowlers did. So it's a very tough one to call. I have to go with England. My heart says England, and my head is just marginally turned in their favour. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Netherlands pull off another shock, because we look absolutely demoralised. We look diabolical. It is awful, awful.
I must would say 2015 with England, really. In the tournament, we also got qualified for the semi-finals and lost out to New Zealand as comes. But to be fair, that was our own fault. But that's another topic for another day. Arnie, how far will
I'll
England
say
win?
one thing. There's more chance of Holland beating England than there is for Afghanistan beating Australia. That's obvious anyway. I'll still back England on this. I don't see another
but
upset.
there's reasons for
England should do
that.
it.
That's because England are really poor. So
I think they'll get over the line. England should do it.
I reckon they just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
more
might do
comfortable
just
than
all the games because it's only a few that's left, and yeah.
Are we doing semis as well?
Nah, semis will leave for another one.
We'll do the
Yeah,
semis when we come to it, because the lineups haven't even been decided yet anyway.
Yeah. That's true.
New Zealand, Sri Lanka. Spoken on Sri Lanka
I'm praying
now.
for rain on that one. I'm praying for rain so Pakistan can qualify if they beat England. I'd rather play Pakistan than New Zealand in the semis. I know India is going to top the group, so I mean, not that we're going to beat them.
I'm hoping for Sri
We have a
Lanka
better
to win.
chance. You think so?
Yeah. I will be cheering for Sri Lanka, but I don't think they do. But New Zealand, even though they lost to Pakistan, South Africa, Australia, and India, don't take anything away from them. They've been really good. But I reckon New Zealand won. But I'm definitely cheering for Sri Lanka to win this one. So yeah. But what do you reckon on?
Yeah, same as you. I not only think New Zealand are going to win, but I reckon they'll smash them. So we're in for another thrashing, yeah, because they know run rates required.
Yeah.
Which will bring me on to the next game when we come to it. But yeah, it's looking like a hammering, unless rain can save the day, which I'm hoping for. So yeah.
It's at Chinnaswamy in Bangalore, so I don't know how's the weather. Bangalore is in. I want to say the western part.
South.
It's the southwest of India, so yeah, so it's sort of like in the south, but not too far south, and it's sort in the west, and it's sort of in the center of that southern area. So it's not near the sea, and you will have to check the forecast to see if weather will be.
There is rain scheduled, but it is scattered thunderstorms for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in Mangalore. So maybe rain, but maybe it's a certain game. Maybe we'll see. So yeah, but do you reckon Sri Lanka have a chance?
Nope. Of course, with this win, as I mentioned, they're already out of contention for the semi-finals. I really don't see them being motivated enough to try and launch launch any kind of a challenge against the New Zealand team, which really are, looking really, really good and looking as though they will secure their spot. It might not necessarily be a thrashing, but it should be a convincing enough win. I'm going to go for 50 runs or 6 wickets for the Black Caps.
Yeah. We can skip that game.
That's it,
Australia,
Manny. 30
Bangladesh.
runs. Okay. Pakistan will
Yeah, I
love
think
that.
we can skip the South Africa Afghanistan game and move on to Australia, Bangladesh. They really need to talk on us.
Australia gonna win
No,
easy.
yeah, easy for
Um,
Australia.
Yeah.
no,
And look
South
at England,
Africa,
Pakistan.
Afghanistan. Do we really need to talk about us?
I think Afghanistan
No,
got a chance there.
No, South
It-
Africa should win. They're not the
It'll be a
same
dead
team that
rubber
lost
game.
to the Netherlands. They're not going to slip up like this.
It's a warm-up game for you lot, I know.
Yeah, I know that
It's more of a
Afghanistan,
warm-up.
in theory, still have a chance of making the semis, but they're going to have to do with a spot in the Champions Trophy, also earned on merit.
It'll be done by then.
Just for
Once
the
they
fun
lose
of
to
it,
Australia.
let's go Afghanistan just for the fun of it. Because that batting performance against India was atrocious. So Afghanistan, you've got the blueprint. Bat first, hit us for 320. Yeah, only 320. Nothing more, really. Hit us for 320, maybe even 290, and you'll probably win the game. Because we can't chase for to save our lives. So yeah.
Hans, quick question, do you think you're gonna rest players for this game as well? To prepare
I
for
think
the
we
semi?
might.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think we
That's
might.
why. Yeah, I agree with you though. I think Afghanistan gonna do a number on you lot. But yeah, we'll see.
I wouldn't
Oh,
be surprised.
knock it off, Arnie. Knock it off. No chance. South Africa have got this
Yeah.
in the bag.
It's nice.
40 runs, 5 wickets.
Jeez, big one. Good evening, Martin. Then Saturday, 2 games, of course. Australia, Bangladesh. I reckon Australia will rest players, but they should still be able to come away with a victory.
Yep.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah. England, Pakistan. This one, Pakistan.
I think Tabs has come at the right time. My man's come at the right time as well. Do you want to go first in this? Any one of you?
I think England, Pakistan. I think, of course, New Zealand would have played, and Afghanistan would have played both their matches. So I think Pakistan by this time they will know if they have a chance or not. Really,
That's right. Yeah.
If Afghanistan win both their matches, beat Australia somehow, or that game rains out. Because if that game rains out, both teams grab the points. So and then they beat us down 12 points. So yeah, then they will know if they're in with a chance or not.
Depends
But
on
I
the
think
margin,
the
right?
biggest problem for Afghanistan is that one. Yeah,
Like say
continue
New
on.
Zealand smashed Sri Lanka by 120 runs, then hopefully that don't deflate Pakistan. They're gonna have to go for a thrashing here, which I
Yeah,
don't see.
definitely.
But they should win the game. Should be like a narrow win. So
Yeah.
let's hope
The
Manny's
sad,
right.
the sad part,
New Zealand.
the
don't
sad
win by
part,
30.
the sad part with regard to England and Pakistan is that Pakistan's bowling has not really been the best, but because our batting is so shoddy, I still think that Pakistan might end up putting a beating on us, and it breaks my heart to say this, but I agree with Martin. I think Pakistan will probably end up beating England. 30 runs or 4 wickets.
I think Pakistan, they like to choke. And when something's off, if it's a batting, they're fielding or something, or even, they're bowling, something in them decides, no, we're not going to turn up today. And I think this one might be it. So, but yeah. But I think smart side, I don't think they have the confidence to do it. Don't think they have the confidence to bat first, get a total and smash a team, because I think even in the first game they played, didn't you bet first in your first game you played in this tournament? Where is it? Against New Zealand. You betted first, and you got 282. And then you batted first again against Bangladesh. That game really doesn't count. But to be fair, ever since then, you've really batted second. Um, but then again, that Sri Lanka game, you better also first. Got bought out for 156. And yeah, so it is what it is. No,
If
they've
if the
lost
margin is
9 out
narrow,
of their last chases in ODI cricket. Jeez. But yeah, I reckon
Hans,
England do it because Pakistan likes about or something, some stuff. But yeah,
I'll say one thing: if
but
the margin is narrow, say New Zealand win by a short margin against Sri Lanka, and Pakistan got a chance, and they don't win this game, for me that's a bottle job. So they have to be up for it by all means. But say if New Zealand smash Sri Lanka, which I think they will, over 100 runs, then yeah, fine, I'll let them off.
yeah.
But if they got a chance,
Last
they have to
one.
take it.
This is even a contest.
This is about Kohli's century number 50.
Yeah,
That's all this game is about. That's it.
Yeah,
That's what the
and I
fans will
think
be
they will
hoping for.
definitely rest some of the big guns.
Yeah.
Of course.
Not Kohli though. They want him to play and get that to that number 50
No, yeah, definitely.
before the semis.
Of
So
course.
let's
I
keep
want to
that.
see. I want to see Ashwin Ravichandran brought into the Indian team because
Yeah.
look, Kuldeep Yadav and Ravi Jadeja have been bowling quite well indeed. But look, Ashwin is also I think in one of the earlier matches he was one of 3 bowlers who played, and he more than played his part. So, I mean, the professionalism that he showed and the way he was able to work hard to earn his ticket back into the squad, even with Akshay Patel getting injured. I hope he gets another game in the World Cup. I don't see him playing in either the semi or the final, but he needs to at least play this game. The man's been patient. He's been professional. He's had so much rubbish thrown at him for the past few years. Still one of India's greatest spin bowlers. He has to play.
Yeah, and also, I don't know what to say. Bumrah injured his ankle and he's out of the tournament. So, get to soon, Bumrah, really.
That's why I didn't play.
But yeah, this
was
will be a
injured.
thrashing. I think nah. Do I go thrashing?
Kohli
Like
versus
100
Beerman.
plus
Cabs.
runs?
That's what it's about. Kohli versus the
let's go.
bowlers. That's it, bro. Nothing more.
Yeah. Carly is on fire.
We wait.
It is.
Bring on semis, I guess.
But I think there will rest some players. Some of the other guys that haven't been really given a chance will probably play. So yeah, some of the players that aren't in the starting 11. So yeah, but that's and then we move on to the semi-final. That will take place on Wednesday and on Thursday, and then the big final on Sunday.
Next week. Yeah. Not fun now.
Yeah.
Business end.
So of course it's versus 4th at this moment. It's India against New Zealand and South Africa against Australia. Can't lie, one. Somehow I need New Zealand somehow finish above Australia. I don't know how, but somehow. Because I'd rather play New Zealand than Australia.
Same thing. You're gonna have to
I
face
get
one
that.
in the final anyway. And
but
me and
listen,
share the
when it
same.
comes to the spin, when it comes to the spin bowlers, though, you have to choose Mitchell Santner or Adam Zampa. Pick your poison.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Tampa. Tampa.
Yeah, well, you did cream him when you played in your own backyard, but listen, this is a different ball game completely. And half an hour, Tottenham against Chelsea. Hopefully, Pochettino can get a win at his old stomping ground, but I think the form guide points to Tottenham.
I can tell you now, I can sense it in every bone in my body that we're going to lose. Poch, the quote has come out in over this weekend. If you guys ever read about it, it's absolutely pathetic.
It's the
lineup,
London Mourinho derby. That's what it is.
And the lineup is even distressed. So starting a left-footed left back, who's a centre back, against a left-footed winger. Make it make sense. You would set a right-footed left back at left back to face a left-footed left winger. No, right wing. Kovacic is right wing. So sorry, right winger.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But and also before we go, you know, we're obviously going to have another stream about the huge decline of England, because at this rate, I don't even think they're going to qualify for the upcoming Champions Trophy. So this should be the tournament where, you know, England have to rip everything up and start all over again. Maybe the coach can remain the same, but there needs to be some new blood. It hurts a great deal.
Afghanistan are through to it. It's all about that 7th spot, which is really between Netherlands, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. So Netherlands can still qualify, but they will need a big win against England, because their net run rate isn't really that. And hope Bangladesh and Sri Lanka both lose the last 2 games, and then they can. England will need a big win again against Netherlands and against Pakistan, a win to have any chance. So yeah.
So technically, there is motivation for England then. A lot at stake then. Oh wow, yeah. So then, that's what they're fighting for.
Yeah, they have to win their last 2 games, and they're not guaranteed by any means. But
let's have a look at the stats quickly. Of course, most runs so far this tournament: Quinton de Kock 550, Virat Kohli 543, Russian Ravindra 523, Rohit Sharma 442, and David Warner 428.
What can I say? Quinton is still the cock of the walk.
No, he got bowled out for cheaply.
How's the leading wicket taker Sri Lankan? That's mad.
I think. Let me check. Madhushanka.
That's a surprise, you know.
Madhushanka. Let me have a look. I think he took a 5 in one of the games.
Yeah, I like Madhushanka. He reminds me a lot of Chaminda Vaas in his heyday. Certainly left arm over the wicket, able to get the ball across the right-handed batsman. And Arnie, you're shaking your head. You probably don't agree with me, but if he goes on to develop a bit further, he will certainly, emulate him. Vaas will probably be remembered as Sri Lanka's greatest ever fast bowler. But, Madhushanka, if he develops himself, I think Patirana, the slinger, is a little bit too erratic, but I like Madhushanka a great deal. I think he's been very impressive.
He can bat as well.
And as I said, credit to Zampa there. He's recovered brilliantly. England might play the pre-tournament qualifiers if they don't finish high enough in the World Cup. Good point there, Martin. And of course, when you consider that the likes of the West Indies failed to qualify for this World Cup itself, they could, yeah.
Because I think everyone plays the qualifiers, right?
Maybe, but at the moment, England are so far down that it'll be very difficult to see them even, making the main tournament proper, and they will have to play some qualifiers. And it's a really sad fall for a once great team. It breaks my heart.
You need to wear light blue, not dark blue. Then then you will win a World Cup. So
Guys,
yeah,
imagine England v Scotland for a place in the last. But Scotland,
Hey,
But let's see.
that would be great.
It
An
could
absolute
happen.
Titanic battle.
I say it could happen.
It could.
Ireland is a bit more common now, but even though I don't rate them, I think they should be fine either way. I don't see England
Ireland are
missing out.
Ireland are a much better limited overs team than they are a test team, but you could say that about a lot of the other teams, other
Yeah,
lesser teams these days.
But wicket Marshanka 21, Adam Zampa 19, Marco Jansen 17, and Shami and Afridi both on 16. For Shami,
surprised
only has only played 4 matches, so yeah. Highest scores, Quentin Cock on top of 174. David Warner 163. Devon Conway 152 not out. David Milan 140. Rassi Fernandez 133. And then best bowling figures, Mohammad Shami 5 for 18. Russian, sorry, not Russian. Ravindra Jadeja 5 for 33. Mohammad Shami again 5 for 54. And then Shah Afridi 5 for 54. And then Mitchell Center 5 for 59. Best batting average, Kane Williamson. Average 2 matches he's played in. Yeah. Don't really know what's that. Bowling
Nice
average,
recovery from that broken left thumb of his.
Mohammad Shami on 7. Boomer 15. Nur Ahmed 16. Adam Sampa 17. Jadeja 17. Most hundreds, the Cock on the 4th because he needs 1 more to make it 5 and I think that will be the most hundreds scored by a player at the World Cup. So yeah. Most 50s by Balsam with 4. And Virat Kohli with 4. And yeah. Nothing really else to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for joining. Scotland beat England last time out up in Edinburgh.
Yeah, that was a friendly game though, Martin, and I'd like to think that England will be good enough to beat Scotland when the stakes are a lot higher. But again, you just never know when it comes to England, especially with the way Jos Buttler leads the team at times.
Yeah. But Arnie, where can I find you on social media?
Yeah, same page which I covered before. The Football for Life show. This again will be going on there as per usual practice. So that's me.
Yeah.
I think I said it with Manny last time on the stream as well. But cheers, bro.
And Manny,
yeah, social media. Manny Pangadarai 1981 on Instagram and Threads. Pangadarai 1981 on Twitter. And on YouTube, catch me on the Coach's Corner, Del Boy Gunner TV. Also, Oris Talks Football and several other channels. Huge shout out to the old school Gunner. I'm about to, hop on his stream as soon as this one gets over. Several other channels I don't really have the time or the mental acuity to name, but all very close to me. And all I can say is thank you to everyone who joins our streams, who's joined this stream tonight in the chat. You've all made this program and our channel what they are. As always, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't do anything that us panelists wouldn't do. But for now, take care of yourselves. God bless. And cheers.
So
yeah, and as for my socials, underscore coach underscore corner on Instagram, Twitter, and 70830030, TikTok coach corner 1. Smash a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. We will see you all on Tuesday or next week Monday for episode 30. to do the semi-final. So yeah, enjoy your evenings and enjoy tomorrow's games wherever you are, and we will see you all in a
Once
bit.
say.
Peace.